Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing today? Happy Friday. I'm back. Yeah, you haven't scared me off yet. Um, if anybody has any comments on what I'm doing, what I'm talking about and things, go ahead and leave me a message. Um, and if you like what I'm saying or you even watch, let me know. That way I can, I appreciate it. Um, so, I was sitting there last night, and a friend of mine came into town, and I met with her, and we sat and we talked for a while. She's been going through a lot of stuff lately, relationship issues, things like that, and she thought it'd be good to talk to me. I am no professional at it or anything like that, but, I have an objective opinion. She knows I'm going to be honest with her and truthful with her and go from there. She's been having problems with basically guys playing with her emotions. Basically leading her on and showing her doing this, and then all of a sudden that they just want to change what they're doing. They will just drop it. They will say, I'm not ready for a relationship, when they turn around and they start a relationship with somebody else. To be honest, I know that's not right. I know that's not true. For the reason is, she is a wonderful person. Anybody that would have her is a lucky man. I've known her since she was real little. She's like a sister to me. Love her to death. But, when people start dating, let's say you go out on a date. A date is a date. You go, you try to get to know somebody. A second date, you want to know them a little more because you think there's something there. A third date, spending a weekend together, going on a trip together, that right there, even to me, makes it seem like you're wanting to go into a relationship with somebody. That there's something there that you can build on. And so many times when that happens, it either makes this person think, okay, I'm getting too serious into this, and they turn tail and they run, or they go all into this relationship. And that's what I want to talk about. Going all into a relationship. When you start out in a relationship with somebody, the first few dates and things, and even through the entire relationship, is a learning process. You learn about this other person. You go with this person. You want to find out what makes them click, what makes them tick, what they like, what they don't like, things like that. And you're constantly learning. Sorry, I got a hair bothering me, tickling my nose. But you're trying to learn each other. You're trying to learn to see what each other is talking about, how each other like certain things. And you never stop learning and evolving with this person. You start out as two individuals, and you come together as a unit. Units are multiple pieces that come together, that work simultaneously to create a task, to get a task done. You never stop working on this unit, on this relationship. As soon as one thing breaks down, that unit, that relationship starts deteriorating, starts breaking up, and starts failing. So, in this, no relationship is a well-oiled machine. It is constant learning, evolving, going from here, going to there. You're going to have parts in it that, don't mesh, that don't work. Those are the things you tear apart. Those are the things you try to rebuild on. Those are the things you fix. The things that tear a relationship up are the things you need to fix, the things you need to work on. Like I said, I'm no professional. I've been married twice. That proves it. So, here's my take on it. If you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, give it your all. Don't half-ass into it. The reason why, if you half-ass into it, eventually it shows. You can only pull the wool over somebody's eyes for so long before it starts showing that, there's something else going on. There's something else that has their attention. I'm not putting this into me. I'm just basing it on what I've been around. Relationships are as hard as you make them. But when you go into a relationship with somebody and you decide, hey, let's take this to the next level. Let's build from this. Let's go from this. Well, guess what? You got to give it your all. You got to say, okay, here's what it is. Start bringing out some things that you're scared to. Because if this person really wants to be in a relationship with you, they're going to accept them. And if they don't accept them, then is that the right person to be in a relationship with? That's what you ask yourself. All relationships in the beginning are scary. Because we don't know how the other person is going to expect. We don't know what's going on in this other person's mind. And that's where it gets us in trouble. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. We end up going through this, and they end up with resentment. Resentment in certain things in the relationship. So, what I've always done, and what I continue to try to do, and I've learned this over 2 failed marriages, that you open up. You've got to open yourself up to this other person. If you don't, it's only going to be disaster in the end, in the long run. You can only hide things for so long before they start coming out. But I jumped ahead a little bit here. Going back into trying to go into a new relationship. She was telling me about a couple guys that she went out with that they wanted to start relationships. She is a strong, will-powered woman. She's been through a lot, and she's a stable person. She has a good job. She has a family. She has a house, everything. But she also opens herself up to be vulnerable. She's one of them that's going to come right out and say, here's what I like. She does say in the beginning, and we talked about this last night, that she will come right out and say, here's what my deal breakers are. Well, a lot of times when you do that, it makes the other person think, okay, if I have that, then she's not going to want me. So what do they start doing? They start backpedaling. Don't come right out and say, here's what my deal breakers are. Because you got to look at one thing. It's compromise. You have to compromise in a relationship. It's a give and take. You give a little, you take a little. They give a little, they take a little. You work together back and forth. It's like a tug of war. But, give back and forth. But you don't try to pull the other person all the way over on your side, which is manipulation. You kind of pull back and forth, but you automatically come back together so you can work on things. In this instance, on this last one, she said that they started talking more and more. He even after their first date, sent her a message that night and said, hey, can you call me? I'd like to hear your voice again before I go to sleep. That way I can relax more and helps me think about you, and I'll dream about you. And she did that, and they talked for a little while. And then a week or two later, they went on a trip. They spent the weekend together. She said it was a great, wonderful weekend. They came back. They talked. They flirted back and forth. And then the next day, he started getting this edgy feeling, or started being standoffish a little. So then he ended up saying, I don't think I would want to be in a relationship anymore. It's too soon. And there's where it comes down to it. There's only one person that knows when you're ready to be in a relationship, and that's you. If you think you're ready for a relationship and you find out right after you start into a relationship that you're not ready for one, you got to think long and hard before you even thought about going into a relationship with somebody. Because you don't know what damage you can do to this person psychologically, emotionally. Because here's one person that thinks, all right, this person likes me, wants me for me, wants me to do this. Then all of a sudden, they come right out and say, oh, I'm not ready, after you've done all this other stuff with them. If you want to be in a relationship with somebody, it doesn't matter who, what, when, or where. You've got to have your baggage in order. The stuff that's holding you back, that you think might be holding you back from going into a relationship with somebody, you need to either get rid of that baggage. You need to get it in order to where it's all right there, it's out in the open, and you say, hey, here's what it is. This is what I've gone through. This is what I'm going through. If this is what you want, then here's where we go from that. If not, then don't even think about going into a relationship with somebody, because you're only going to be upset, the other person's going to get upset, or you're going to destroy something before it even starts. Relationships are as tough as you make them. When you start hiding things and you start sneaking around and you aren't 100% sure that's what you want, then that's where disaster sets in for every relationship. So think about what you want before you even think about going into a relationship with somebody. Is this person the person I want to, spend the rest of my life with? Or is this person just going to be a good time for now? We all want happiness in a relationship. Excuse me. We don't want any sadness. We don't want any hurt feelings. We don't want anything to be hard and rough. We want it to be smooth. We want it to be happy. We want it to be the fairy tale. Everybody, even guys, want this fairy tale relationship. Well, guess what? Not everything is a fairy tale. Fairy tales are stories. How you get stories is people think them up. A lot of stories are true life. But you know what? In the end, what really is life? Life is the story of yourself moving on, going forward in life, trying to prosper, trying to be happy, nobody sets out to be in a relationship to be unhappy. When you take each step of a relationship, you go from dating to boyfriend and girlfriend, to being engaged, to being married, to your anniversaries, to your 50th anniversary, things like that. That's where you start evolving together. Now, when you go into a relationship, you don't sit there and think, at least I don't, hey, yeah, this will be good for 2 or 3 months. This might be good for a year or so. You don't look at it that way. You look at it as, is this the person I want to grow old with? Is this the person that I want to walk through the mall holding her purse with? Or is this the guy that I want to go to Home Depot with while he wanders around like a little kid in a toy store? We all want that special someone. It doesn't matter who we are, who they are. We want that person that, makes us feel complete, even though we are complete. I mean, with all the baggage and everything we carry, we are complete. But we want that one person, the person that, when you look down and you get a text message from them, it brings a smile from their face when their name comes across the phone. The last person you think of before you go to sleep, the first person you think of when you wake up in the morning, that's the person we want. The person that, you don't want to leave in the mornings, but you still know you have to go to work, but also the person you rush home to at night to be there for them, be there with them, and spend your life with them. That's what we want. We don't want the games. We don't want the heartache. We don't want the sadness, the depression, the breaks. We want that special person. So going back to her, she got to the point that she doesn't even want to start anything with anybody anymore, just because how she's been hurt with people. I understand that. I've been hurt. I've been lied to. I've been cheated on. Those of you that haven't, I hope it never happens to you. Those of you that have, you understand where I'm coming from. It destroys somebody's emotional state when that happens. It makes them feel like they're not worth anything. Yeah, it's rough. You come through it eventually. But, there is that special someone out there that makes us forget about all that we have went through. Some of us are lucky to find them. I said earlier that I've been married 2 times. When I got divorced, it was rough. It was hard both times. It made me feel like a failure. It made me feel like I'm not worthy to keep anybody happy. When really, I wasn't happy. And when I wasn't happy, they also wasn't happy. So we did what was best, and we separated, we split up, we got divorced. Now, me and my first wife, we are really great friends. We still communicate. We talk every once in a while. She checks on me, see how I'm doing. I check on her. She ended up marrying a great guy. This man I take my hat off to, because he was able to step in there and help raise my 2 boys. I owe him a debt of gratitude. He's a great guy. I've known him most of my life. I couldn't have asked for somebody better to step in there and help my boys. Me and my second ex-wife, we are friends. I actually stepped in and helped raise her daughters, like my own. I love those 2 girls with all of my heart. They will be my daughters for the rest of my life. I love them more than you could imagine. They are mine. So what I'm saying as when you're in a relationship and they're bringing kids and stuff into it, I know I've been all over the board with this today, and I am so sorry. Going back to starting a relationship with somebody, it's scary. It's hard. You don't know what the other person is thinking. But if you're not sure that you want to start a relationship with somebody, don't. Don't even bring it into the picture, because the only person you're going to hurt is that person. Or you might realize at the end of it, after you've done it, I screwed up. This was a great person. I could have been happy with this person. And now I've ruined it. But, be honest from the very beginning. Say, hey, I'm just now getting back into the dating world, and I'm not sure where this is going to go. Let's take it slow. Let's get to know each other. Let's find out what each other likes and see if it's from there. You just got to be honest, upfront, and truthful with that person. If you can't do that, you're lying to yourself. You're not lying to them, you're lying to yourself. Because, when you find that person that you're in love with and you want to be with, it doesn't matter what anybody says, what ex-husbands say, ex-wives say, ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends, what family says, what cousins say, what the neighbor says, anything. You give 110%, you give 150% into that relationship. And if you can't do that, you're lying to yourself. You're going to hurt that person. You're going to screw yourself because you don't know what you just lost, because you never gave it a chance. I'm sorry I've jumped all over this topic today. Everybody, have a wonderful weekend. And if I opened any eyes here, please let me know. Those of you who have been watching, let me know who it is. I want to thank you all for watching. Because it doesn't tell me who's seen it. It only tells me people that leave messages and stuff like that. So, everybody have a great day. Have a wonderful weekend. Just remember, National Finals Rodeo started last night. So, those of you that'll be up late tonight, enjoy it. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye now.